Now, let's look at this aspect where vote buying was a huge, I'm saying was because I think it's already in the past.
It's in the past.
Because looking at what we have in the Electoral Act, looking at the intrusion of the beavers, you know, looking at the factors that popped up towards the election, the Naira redesign, the Naira swap, all of this seem to be coming, like most Nigerians are saying, or some Nigerians are saying, all of this seem to be coming as on the positive, looking at what transpired, because the Naira redesign, the Naira swap, you know, made it difficult for vote buying to even take place, even though the electorates were already having a mindset of not being influenced by this. What's your take on that, Siri?
A very great improvement in the sense that whatever principles have been designed and implemented in this election has yielded good indication that we can get it better. I was about reacting to one of his points. The I on INEC means what? The I, the first letter I. That's the first word on INEC. That I means what? Independent. Independent means they have legally been given that provision to do within themselves as a body, isn't it? Why must every point in time any idea that will lead to advancement is being taken, according to him, to persons who have diverse interests, and that person, you have classified that person as independent from beginning? Why I'm saying that is this: the process of going to electronic voting is not new to any person in INEC. Hope you know that. I am not thinking for them, I'm reading their mind. If you give them the opportunity to say, do what you want to do, we would not tailor you. I want to believe that Prof will do it.
Okay.
And everybody at the leisure of their homes will vote. It doesn't need anything serious.
You were here yesterday when we were talking when we were talking about the person of Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, and even why Professor Julius Iyasele was also saying that he was so overwhelmed with joy that the person of Mahmoud Yakubu did not disappoint them as professors, looking at what he brought to bear. So are you saying that in the light of the fact that he has his eye on the ball, even as regards electronic voting?
Under normal condition, as a professor, he's supposed to be on the other side, and I will be lashing him over this election. Hope you know that the first statement he made was that professors will not be used for the election.
Okay.
That was a statement. You understand? That was enough for me to strike him.
Because it was a signal.
But it was a very dangerous one. But I now discover that every step he has taken, he has a reason for it. That is why I always tell people, for Nigeria to work, one person who has been given that responsibility should sometimes be devil enough to dare anything that comes and exercise that superior idea that you feel you have that will bring the difference. And once that difference comes, then the results change. Then we say we have improved. Beavers to electronic voting is just 1 to 2 point shift. The only thing that is remaining is that to connect that possibility that you open the app on your phone, all of us, then you thumbprint, and it goes straight to the same beaver because it has been fed with that data. It has everything it needs in it. So all you need to do is that connectivity, and it's working. So all he has done, I don't believe is new to him. Like he has said, they travel, all of us travel, and we see what happens outside. But a case where you come back and you allow individual interests to override national interests, that's what makes the difference between developed and underdeveloped countries. Because sometimes I continue to wonder, and I ask politicians, I ask political scientists, what are the parameters of deciding or classifying one country as developed and the other one as undeveloped?
Okay.
Okay, you are asking me now as well.
No, I will ask you so that
I think there are questions surrounding that.
We continue to now push that knowledge to ourselves. Then when we have knowledge, then the people are bound to excel when there is knowledge. Do you understand? So nothing that INEC man has done that is new to him. No.
Okay.
They are there. And he's gradually popping it out, and let him be fast in popping it out so that we'll catch up. And one day, Nigeria will now be classified as developed country.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll allow you to flow with
Yes,
that.
yes.
Why the panel will come back to you because you've not
It
attended
is
to the
important
second
for us
question I asked.
to think back
Okay.
to where we are coming from. And to appreciate the fact too that before the advent of this election, INEC had some challenges. Challenges even with the passage of the Electoral Amended Act 2022. You all saw how the National Assembly and presidency were dilly-dallying, delayed by Mr. President to sign the Electoral Act and some other things.
It came with some
At a point,
hurdles.
it even led to the adjustment of the timetable for the election. INEC was almost at being pushed to a corner because they had a timetable, and Professor Mahmoud Yakubu had clear and good intentions to deliver on his mandate, to conduct a free, fair, and credible election. And for one who may say that, oh, look, electronic voting, yes, which we are clamoring for, that we try to, of course, get into, build up, and then, of course, adopt as a system of voting. We need also a legislative intervention. You don't just go and do something. The issue of beavers was captured in the Electoral Act. That is why it is now being used. But for us to go into the electoral, that is the electronic voting proper, we also need a legislative intervention. And in which case, a lot will be done, and then to ensure that the process goes on seamlessly, and then it is not subject to litigation also. Because people will come and then go to court and challenge whatever is being done. And that is why we must, at this stage, appreciate the advantages that the electronic voting also carries.
Yes.
Yeah.
Apart from, because it goes a long way to eliminate
apart from doing away with the issues of security,
physical
so that during elections like this, we hear, oh, we are deploying 350 mobile policemen to so place. Yeah. 4 commissioners of police to Rivers State, 3 commissioners of police to Imo State, and the rest of them.
It saves what the point of doing that.
We don't need them at that stage. And then it saves us manpower and so many things. Logistics of traveling to maybe somewhere like N1 area, or maybe somewhere at Onwa and other places, Ubiaja and the rest of them. We may have no need for all these things. And the payment of polling units, officers and the rest of presiding officers and the rest of them, we may not need all these things.
It's a good way to go.
By the time we adopt such a process, a procedure. So I think it is something that we should begin to look up to doing. It is something that has worked very well with the Nigerian Bar Association, and I say so without contradiction or missing words. It's been doing so well, apart from the fact that, like we said, it's vulnerable to being hacked, but also it creates room. There's also a provision that, opportunity for people to audit.
Okay, but again,
I
was looking at the reports, from INEC, where they said that because we also noticed as reports came, and even the INEC chairman said it yesterday when he was briefing the media, that they witnessed some theft of the beavers. And according to reports surrounding this, there's a way that the electoral umpire, can deactivate.
Yes, you switch it off.
It becomes useless to the.
So it becomes a dummy.
Yes, you switch it off.
So I think that is why in this election, you hardly hear of cases of snatching of ballot box. And even where beavers were stolen, they were returned or found because they become useless to the process. And then elections were meant to continue in those places where they operated. So sincerely, apart from the cases where INEC on its own acknowledged that its staff did not get to the polling units, and then areas where people were not even allowed to vote, INEC has not rescheduled the elections in places.
Okay.
And it's something that we must commend the electoral umpire.
Okay, so let's look at, because that was the question I asked Professor Cyril, but I think it's going to come back to you after Nebilo Bagelo reacts to that. Vote buying as a menace that Nigerians or the electoral process was bedeviled by. how did it pan out in this election yesterday? Did you see features of that, or at its barest?
You see that the Nigerian electoral system is a system that is characterized with vote trading. Within that vote trading, you now have vote selling and vote buying.
As in then?
No, as is in the process. You see, it's still in the process. The reason why it is not manifesting the way it used to manifest is because of this cashless policy.
Which is a positive outcome. Do you agree?
Whether the cashless policy is a positive outcome.
Yes, on taking out this menace of vote buying in this electoral process just now.
Let me not digress from the question you asked me, but let me answer you
It's part of it.
anyhow.
You're not digressing at all. It's part of
Let
it.
me answer you anyhow.
You're on point.
In the first instance, the law, I thank God that a legal practitioner is here. Not just a legal practitioner, a former chairman of NBA in Edo State.
Yes.
So he is not somebody that just entered the bar yesterday.
We are seriously guided.
Now,
You're guided.
the law is very clear. The Electoral Act is very clear. Nigeria criminal codes, they are very clear on the punishment to be given to those who are found to subvert the electoral process.
Even the Electoral Act.
Yes.
has a provision.
So the Electoral Act also specifies the punishment to be given to those who are involved in vote trading, those who are buying, those who are selling, and those who are buying. So when I listen to Mr. President, or I listen to the governor of the central bank, they are saying the reason why we have a cashless policy is because they want to curtail vote buying. That is not a reason for cashless policy.
No. I don't
And
think
it is
you're
not-
right if you say that. That wasn't the reason that was said. Because a lot was talking
Yes,
about concerning insecurity,
Yes.
tackling insecurity.
Yes, I
tackling
agree.
corruption.
The question you asked me borders on issue of
by virtue of proximity,
the question
it's
you asked
also
me.
coming out positively
No.
in tackling vote buying.
I want you to understand what I'm saying. I know that several reasons were given for coming up with the idea of the cashless policy. But if you listen to the broadcast of Mr. President on this issue, I know you will underline the issue of vote buying there because he mentioned it. If you listen to the statement of the governor of the central bank, you will also underline the issue of vote buying there.
Because
and I'm saying that the law is already clear on how the people who perpetrate vote trading, how they are going to be dealt with. It is for the state to now use the machinery to get these people apprehended and let them be brought to book. It is not cashless policy you are going to use to punish them. Now, what
just like the anti-graft agencies have been on their toes, tackling those who are involved, suspects who are involved in this.
The first thing, what we have discovered in Nigeria is that the Nigeria state, the capacity of the Nigeria state to be alive to its responsibility of stateness is hanging in the balance because of elitist politics. We are not going to go into that one now because we have been hearing and seeing currency redistribution in countries, including the United Kingdom.
Okay, but don't forget, don't digress. Don't digress.
Because
we're looking at how this line played out in this election.
I'm coming back to the issue of you asked me a question about the issue of cashless policy. That's why I'm emphasizing it. Now, if you go to UK, after the death of Queen Elizabeth, there was a currency
tackling vote buying that was noticed.
Okay, let's leave that one. The issue of vote buying is still on in Nigeria. Just that this period of this election, because cash was not available to many politicians. Some of the places I visited yesterday, some of the places I monitored yesterday, I heard and I saw people discussing issues of money.
So it was brought to its barest.
Yeah, to the barest. I agree with you. When that was brought to the barest.
Yes, we know to eradicate it can be an Herculean task.
Yes.
You know, it's like being between the devil and the deep blue sea.
Yes, nobody.
But what we're saying here is that
Yes.
to a great extent, has it been substantially controlled?
Yes,
or
I
tackled?
agree with you that in this very ongoing election, this ongoing
Yes, of course.
general election,
Yeah.
vote trading is reduced to the barest minimum. I'm using the word vote trading deliberately
Okay.
because you cannot see somebody who is buying vote
Yeah.
without seeing somebody who is
Yeah.
ready to sell vote.
Who's selling?
So it takes two to tango
Yes.
on that matter. It is reduced to the barest minimum. And I hope policies of government will continue to target vote buying so that those who have the interest of the people at heart are thrown up by political parties before general election. Because vote buying does not start and end with what happens on the field on the day of election. Vote buying starts from the primaries of political parties. People who have money buy vote from delegates, and then they become the candidates of the political parties. Then on election day too, they come and also buy vote because there are delegates who are willing to sell. What is the position of the law on those delegates who are ready to sell their vote to the highest bidder to be able to be thrown up as the candidate of the political party? That is part of the issue of vote trading that the law must tackle. And that is one of the reasons why when they were talking about direct primaries for all political parties, several interests had to oppose it to the extent that the electoral act had to be amended because of the same issue
I'll come back
of
to
vote
you.
trading.
I'll come back to you. Let's get okay.
There's something I wanted to add to what he has said
Yeah.
in terms of what transpired yesterday.
Exactly.
Why that thing did not work. Thank God, like I said before, I said we are legally guided because he's here. Laws are made in case there is somebody there who wants to be lawless. Am I right?
Very well.
Simple. So the electorates who are majorly the youth are now saying, you cannot buy my conscience anymore. I don't even want to collect your money. We have seen that our future is being blamed. And we still have long life to live. So why don't we sit down and adjust ourselves and make
To get
it
it
better?
right.
Let me tell you that even with the cashless society, 1 or 2 persons would have been with money yesterday. I think there were even flashes of 1 or 2 persons caught with money. There was how many? 500,000 US dollars. There was 30 million a bit plus somewhere else. Is it not? Is it not somebody that gave out that information that so person has 500,000 or so person has 30 something million naira? Those money would have gone out. And 1 or 2 votes would have been able to be bought from, like he has said, the person who has the right to aid. So trading, it takes 2 to tango.
Yeah. If
That-
there's no interest to sell, there won't be buy.
No interest to sell, then you won't have anything to buy. So I want to congratulate Nigerian youths. I want to congratulate every person who has the right to vote, that we should sustain the trend. Let's not believe that we are poor. So out of poverty, you want to seek riches from any means or any opportunity. No, it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Okay.
For the fact that the youth for the first time has not accepted any money, there was no gunshot anywhere, there was no snatching of ballot boxes. Has any youth died? Has any youth vanished? No, because let me tell you, why I always mention youth is that nobody goes to an old man of 70 years or 60 years and say, take this 5,000 naira and take this gun. Go to polling booth 5 and destroy the ballot paper. Does it happen? Can an old man carry gun and go? Can an old woman go there? No. Youthful age, energy. So what they pay for is energy. So that those people who now has that energy are now telling you, this energy, I'm not going to use it negatively.
Yes, I won't deploy it negatively.
I don't want to use it. I want to use it for a better future. That is it. And that is the orientation that must continue. And it should be part of INEC's duty to make sure that that orientation at every point in time is hammered to the direct targeted population. Tell the youth that it is time that you people will take your destinies in your hands. Don't allow one man to pay you and give you a gun with magazine load with bullets and go out there to fire, because when you are firing, most of the people you fire are also youths like yourself.
Okay.
So if that orientation continues to gradually cover up, we will have a better.
Okay. Let's see the overall debate of this.
In addition to the orientation that Prof has talked about, I think another approach that it's important that we adopt is to also name and shame some of these people. For instance, the member of the House of Representatives who was seeking re-election yesterday in Rivers State was caught with $500,000 US dollars.
Hard currency.
You saw how it was published. You saw the embarrassment that followed it.
Yes.
And then the person in Lagos too. And then I'm sure we saw a viral video of a boy who wanted to sell.
Although we can't rely on all this that have been peddled. Of course, I know. I know. But when you now speak about viral video,
yes,
just be guided.
Okay,
we can't rely on the viral video.
We have not mentioned any.
I know. Just be guided.
Okay, yes. We can classify. The point is this: from what I know and from the interactions I've had, even at the polling units, whenever someone has the idea, or you propose to even say you want to influence a vote, whether you have something to give or not,
yes,
people see you as a virus, and you never can tell. They could just descend upon you straight. People are now more conscious.
Yes.
And the area which my brother talked about, which I must adopt, and then I agree with him, and I expect that it should also be part of our conversation, is how these candidates, these persons who are the flag bearers of their political parties, how they emerge.
Yeah.
You agree with me that while we are talking about vote buying at the electoral level, I mean at the polling units, which we have condemned, which the INEC has done everything to condemn, and then has taken steps also to ensure that it is reduced to its barest minimum.
Yeah.
We need to take our searchlight to the political parties while they are conducting their primaries.
Good.
Sincerely, we all know how most of them emerge.
That's true.
They emerge through corrupt practices.
Very fraudulent processes.
They buy votes. They buy to delegates. They buy in hard currencies. So it is something that we must tell ourselves the truth if we must succeed as a nation and as a people. And we must also point out the fact that, look, while we are doing our best to ensure that we get it right this time around, to ensure too that we do not sell our consciences and that we take our destiny in our hands, we must cooperate with INEC in whatever they are doing. In fact, most of the offenses that are committed in the polling units are codified. They are in our laws. But for one reason or the other, some of us just trivialize them. And we must urge on the authorities concerned, the police and all those who are in charge of enforcement, to ensure that people respect the provisions of our laws. Vote buying may have been reduced and to a barest minimum in this election. Perhaps, and that is the area too that I need to agree with my brother. Maybe because of the redesign of the Naira for now. We may not be redesigning the Naira every 4 years. Yeah. The politicians are still there to begin to keep the money gradually. Yes. They may not even approach the banks. To just keep them, just be prepared for the next election. But let us, as a people and as a nation, begin to name and shame these people. If we catch any person, let us make him an object of ridicule in the public. And I am sure those who want to engage in it in future will have a rating.
Yeah. Okay, let's get your reaction in this, Neville.
I agree with you.
As it pertains to the aspect of vote buying and how we can nip it in the bud totally.
You see, there are different ways that politicians buy votes. And it pains me too that in this cashless policy issue that we have been talking about, it is the masses that feel it the more. I will give you an instance. Our politicians buy vote. The first thing they will come up with, the political parties will come up with, nomination form, nomination and interest and expression of interest form that will cost maybe 10 million, maybe 20 million combined. It means from the beginning, members of that political party who feel or who may feel that they have leadership qualities, that they could lead, they are already excluded from the process.
Very correct.
That is vote buying.
Yeah. That's vote buying.
We have to stop it. Number two, we talk about stopping of vote buying. We should stop vote buying in all ramifications. Because when politicians go for campaign, everywhere they go to, they drop money. Whether they go to religious bodies,
Yes.
to say so association, I want you to be a religious body, I want you to mobilize the people to vote for me. They will call the leaders to a place, they will drop money there. They will go and visit a community, either the Odio way or they visit a place, the traditional ruler, they go there, they drop money there.
Well, we don't have all those statistics anyways, but let's just focus on what we have on the ground.
You know that I'm a researcher. I'm not mentioning any particular person. I didn't mention a particular person. This is information that is derived from research processes. And when you see me carrying papers like this, I'm not just, I can be doing the research at your reception here.
Okay.
If I give you information about some of the things that will constitute part of the articles I'm going to write next after this election, you will be shocked. Information. So when I you see the way I talk emotionally and authoritatively.
We don't want you to talk emotionally.
You don't want me to talk authoritatively.
Just be objective.
Objective.
And tackle the issues on the ground.
Yes.
Without necessarily
we are talking about
passions.
Yes, I did not cast as passion. I said when politicians go to various places to canvass for vote,
All right,
they drop money.
You've articulated that.
Yes.
So
when we are talking about tackling vote buying, first place to stop it is the issue of a nomination form. Then we now talk about primaries, because the campaigns that the politicians will embark upon after this one is showing interest and aspirants, maybe you have 10 aspirants, they are going to visit all the wards and all the states. If it's a presidential election matter, they visit all the states and they are going there, they say, I want to see delegates. As they see the delegate, they drop money. The delegate will be discussing it, that this man came, he draws so money. They are preparing their mind for the victory ahead. And on the day of the primary proper, they will also buy vote. So the last one, just to see the vote trading process, that is when they now come to the field to appoint an agent to say, you stay here for party A, you stay here for party B. As they are going to vote, we just say take and vote our party, and somebody will be very close to the polling booth to monitor whether the person actually voted for the party. Some will wait for you to cast your vote and you show the card in a way that you get your money, or somebody will monitor you and make sure you actually voted for the party before they give you the money. Okay. This is what is happening in several places. And it does not speak well of the democratic process.
We want to have an electoral process,
yes,
where we say that all of these menace, all of these vices are really tackled, more especially as it pertains also to political thuggery. And the Electoral Act, could we say, has to a great extent minimized this in terms of political thuggery just now? Siri.
Is it the Electoral Act per se? Is it the Electoral Act per se? Or the reaction of the people?
Of the electorate.
Of the electorate. Is the reaction, the state of mind of the electorate that determines all this we are talking about? Like he has analyzed from one stage to another. Let's go back to even the first stage he has talked about. The money that is being exchanged is between human and human. Simple. I want you to vote for me. Take. If that person is not willing to vote for me and does not want to sell that power he has, there is no amount of money I will give to him that he will not even accept it. So if we tailor our mind towards rejecting any form of inducement to vote, it will work. Let it be part of the orientation program. Let everybody know that whatever you do today determines what you will benefit or what will be the negative impact of your action in the next 4 years.
Okay.